Malabo celebrations. On October 12, Equatorial Guinea, a country that was until recently little known outside of Africa, celebrated its Independence Day. Malabo, the capital of Equatorial Guinea, organized a parade involving both military and regular folks. 45 years ago, a Spanish colony transferred into an independent country and soon fell into the hands of dictator Macias. A coup d'etat occurred in 1978. Macias was deposed and a new president took over, Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, who started building a free democratic society. The country started to change, and the more time elapsed, the more reforms it experienced. Formerly being Africa's poorest country, Equatorial Guinea has a per capita GDP equaling Spain and Greece, over US $30,000. In mid-1990s, oil was developed in Equatorial Guinea territorial waters, much oil. The proven reserves are over 1.1 BBL. Some experts believe that the Gulf of Guinea can deposit about 10% of global oil reserves, which makes it another Kuwait. But in contrast to the Persian Gulf, it is a quiet area, offering easy access to Europe and America by sea routes. There is nothing strange in the fact that oil was found. There's another intriguing fact. As you know, most poor countries rich in oil do remain poor. In Equatorial Guinea, the situation is different. Petrodollars are not invested in palaces built in the midst of the slums of impoverished people, but are injected into infrastructure projects. Today, the roads built in jungles are better than those in Europe. A local air company offers transcontinental flights. The country constructs new airports and runways. Sea territories are extended with new berths, container terminals, embankments, and hotels. Power plants built in mountain rivers produce electricity. Work relocation programs help inhabitants of old municipal towns move to new, up-to-date houses. What about social housing? A spacious two-bedroom apartment here costs around $20,000. Payment is effected in installments without interest. And here are old Malabo districts. The city is located on Bioko Island, which was named after Ferdinand Poe by the Portuguese who discovered it. Formerly, they called it Devil's Island, reportedly for wildness of nature and harsh living conditions. But now, foreign travelers say that Malabo is one of the nicest cities in Central Africa. Historic districts still preserve the charm of a unique colonial architecture, but the effect of globalization and progress are clear. It is no coincidence that the British magazine Economist defines Equatorial Guinea as the country with the highest economic growth in Africa. On the streets of the city, there are many foreigners from around the world: oil industry workers, builders, merchants, and sailors. We hear conversations in Spanish, English, French, Chinese, and Arabic. There are many citizens of other African countries who come to Equatorial Guinea in search of a better life. There is a job for everyone. I like Equatorial Guinea, says Soiree, owner of a sewing workshop, a native of Guinea-Conakry. The 5 employees of his workshop are also foreigners. People here have a lot of money, says Soiree. and the government does not stick on up businesses. And life is very comfortable, says Ibrahim, who along with his brother owns several clothing stores in downtown Malabo. Ibrahim arrived from Mali. He says conditions for doing business in Equatorial Guinea are much better than in their homeland. And this is one of the best restaurants in Malabo. Every day here is fresh fish and other seafood. Fish is supplied by Nigerian fishermen. Cameroonians work in the restaurant, except for the chef, who came from Benin. Equatorial Guinea is so modern. However, President Obiang does not seem to be happy with the current situation. Oil will end sooner or later, so you have to learn to work, the head of the state is used to say. Among the priorities outlined by the president are tourism, agriculture, and education. This is the future of Equatorial Guinea, a reality that marks difference between Equatorial Guinea and many neighboring countries. In the streets of Malabo and other Equato-Guinean cities, there are no child beggars. Children here will gladly start talking to you and are willing to pose for you to take pictures, and they do not ask anything in return, unless it is they want you to see them home just for company. Some journalists state that most Equatorial Guineans subsist on $2 a day. It's hard to believe that any one of these reporters has actually been in this country. Or it may be that for some reason they did not pay attention to the rows of wrecked cars abandoned outside the road by their owners who prefer to buy a new car rather than embitter their lives with repairing a broken one. Perhaps not everyone who writes in the press about Equatorial Guinea wants to see reality, as it may ruin their Guinean anti-propaganda stereotypes. The main problem of Equatorial Guinea is the immaturity of many Guineans' mindset, who overnight became prosperous citizens of the new African Kuwait. President Obiang is the person who wants them to become mature as soon as possible. Independence and President Obiang's tireless activity in defense of national interests is the main reason for the harassment and defamation campaigns against him conducted by some Western media. But no one is able to stop President Obiang in his fight against any vestige of colonialism in Africa. President Obiang is aware that the peoples of Africa must decide their future for themselves. However, in Africa, Obiang has great authority. Last year, he was elected chairman of the African Union. The country regularly becomes venue for African summits. And here, at the celebration of Independence Day, came the presidents and heads of governments of almost all countries in Central Africa, demonstrating the growing role of Equatorial Guinea in the affairs of the continent. Equatorial Guinea's army has become an important factor of regional stability in the Gulf of Guinea. Territorial waters cover an area of 350,000 square kilometers, compared to 28,000 kilometers on the mainland, and pirates, terrorizing sailors and tankers in the waters of neighboring countries, do not dare to violate Equatorial Guinea maritime borders. Frigate Wella in Saz, which bears the name of a country province, was built at Malabo shipyards. Its launch was a great event. It symbolizes the birth of a new maritime power in Africa.